Every day, hundreds of enormous cargo ships travel through a narrow body of water between Africa and the Middle East. These ships carry oil, electronics, cars, food, and millions of everyday products that move between Asia, Europe, and the rest of the world. This route passes through the Red Sea and connects directly to the Suez Canal, one of the most important trade corridors on Earth. In fact, nearly 15% of global trade flows through this region every single year. But today, that vital shipping route has become increasingly dangerous. Missile attacks, drones, and military escorts are now part of daily life in these waters. What used to be one of the world's busiest and safest shipping corridors has suddenly become a major geopolitical hotspot, and the consequences of this crisis could reshape global trade, supply chains, and international security for years to come. Part 1. Why the Red Sea is so important. To understand why this crisis matters so much, we first need to look at the geography of global trade. The Red Sea sits between Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. At its northern end lies the Suez Canal, a man-made waterway in Egypt that connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean. This canal is one of the most important shortcuts in global shipping. Without it, ships traveling between Europe and Asia would have to sail all the way around Africa, a journey thousands of miles longer. Every year, more than 20,000 ships pass through the Suez Canal. These vessels transport everything from crude oil and natural gas to smartphones, clothing, machinery, and food supplies. Because of this, the Red Sea and the Suez Canal together form one of the most important trade arteries in the world economy. If this corridor becomes unstable, the ripple effects can spread across global supply chains almost immediately. Part 2. The rising attacks in the Red Sea. In recent months, this strategic shipping lane has faced a growing number of attacks. Commercial vessels traveling through the Red Sea have been targeted by drones, missiles, and armed boats. Many of these attacks have been carried out by the Houthi movement, a powerful armed group based in Yemen. The Houthis have been involved in a long civil war in Yemen and have strong ties to Iran. Amid rising tensions in the Middle East, they began targeting ships they claim are connected to Israel or Western allies. But in practice, vessels from many different countries have been caught in the crossfire. Some ships have been damaged, while others have been forced to turn around entirely. For global shipping companies, the risk of sending vessels through this region has suddenly increased dramatically. Part 3. Shipping companies change course. Because of these attacks, several of the world's largest shipping companies have made a major decision. Instead of passing through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, many ships are now rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa. This alternative route avoids the danger zone, but it comes with a major cost. Sailing around Africa adds thousands of miles to each journey. In many cases, the trip becomes 10 to 14 days longer. That means more fuel consumption, higher operating costs, and delayed deliveries. For global supply chains that rely on precise timing, even small disruptions can cause massive problems. And when delays begin to pile up, the effects quickly spread across the entire global economy. Part 4. The economic impact. The longer shipping routes are already driving up transportation costs. Freight prices on some routes have increased dramatically as ships take longer journeys and require more fuel. Industries that depend heavily on global shipping, such as electronics, automobiles, and retail goods, are beginning to feel the pressure. Factories waiting for parts may face production delays, retail companies may struggle to keep shelves stocked, and ultimately consumers around the world could face higher prices. History has shown that disruptions to major trade routes can trigger significant economic consequences. Even a short interruption in global shipping networks can create ripple effects that last for months. Part 5. Military forces. Enter the region. As the situation escalates, several countries have begun sending naval forces to the region. Warships from the United States and its allies are now patrolling the Red Sea to help protect commercial shipping. These naval vessels are tasked with intercepting drones and missiles launched toward merchant ships. In some cases, they also escort cargo ships through the most dangerous areas. This military presence highlights just how important the Red Sea has become. Keeping this trade route open is not just a regional issue, it is a global priority. Part 6. Strategic Choke Points and Global Power. The Red Sea crisis also reveals something deeper about the modern world. Global trade depends heavily on a handful of narrow maritime choke points. These are locations where massive volumes of shipping pass through very small geographic areas. Some of the most important examples include the Suez Canal, the Strait of Hormuz, and the Panama Canal. If any of these choke points becomes unstable, the entire global economy can feel the impact. Because of this, major world powers closely monitor and protect these strategic locations. Control over trade routes has always been a key element of global power. Part 7. A changing global trade landscape. The Red Sea crisis may also accelerate long-term changes in how global trade operates. Companies may begin looking for alternative supply routes that avoid unstable regions. Some countries may invest in new infrastructure projects such as rail networks and overland trade corridors. Others may attempt to diversify their supply chains so they rely less on any single shipping route. While the Red Sea will likely remain a critical corridor, this crisis has reminded the world just how vulnerable global trade networks can be. Conclusion. For now, ships continue to sail across the oceans, carrying the goods that power the global economy. But the Red Sea crisis has shown how quickly a strategic trade route can become a geopolitical flashpoint. Missiles, drones, and naval patrols are now part of a shipping corridor that once operated with relative stability. As tensions continue to evolve, governments and shipping companies are watching the region closely. The outcome of this crisis could shape the future of global trade, security, and international cooperation. Because in today's interconnected world, a conflict in one narrow stretch of water can affect the lives of millions of people across the globe. And the Red Sea may remain one of the most important strategic regions to watch in the years ahead.